We have an update on a Montana rape case Arise News has been following. The state attorney general is now calling the rapist sentence illegal, and prosecutors have appealed to the state Supreme Court for a harsher punishment. The controversy started when Judge G. Todd Bow imposed a 30-day sentence on Rambold, a 47-year-old teacher who admitted to raping his 14-year-old student. The girl later took her own life. Joining us by phone is Marian Bradley, president of Montana's National Organization for Women. She has organized a nationwide campaign to remove the judge from the bench. Also joining us is Bill D'Alton. He is an attorney in Billings, Montana, who tried many cases before this very same judge. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for being on Arise America.
Thanks for having me.
I would like to start with you, Bill, if I can. Can you explain to me, first of all, how the judge was able to have such wide discretion in the original sentence, according to Montana law?
Well, under Montana law, when you have a crime like this and the defendant pleads to it, the judge has the discretion under certain exceptions to the statute to impose a sentence that was originally given to him, the deferred imposition of sentence for 30 days. So the judge does have that discretion under Montana law to impose the sentence which was originally given to Mr. Rambold.
So what then, Bill, is the legal basis for the Attorney's General appeal to the Montana State Supreme Court to appeal this sentence?
Well, it's a long, complicated process. Mr. Rambold failed to comply with the conditions of the deferred imposition, the original sentence given to him. Therefore, that sentence was revoked. The state filed a petition to revoke the sentence, and then they went to the next level to re-sentence him based on the violations, the failure to complete the sexual offending treatment program. The judge has to have a hearing. Once that hearing was held, defense counsel makes an argument for a new sentence at that hearing. The state also made an argument. The state argued for prison time, 20 years with 10 suspended. And defense counsel made an argument again that Mr. Rambold should be given a suspended sentence, a sentence that would remain on his record, but with limited jail time, 30 days. The judge believed defense counsel's argument was allowed under Montana law, and the state apparently did not object or say the sentence was illegal, and therefore the judge, after making certain findings, sentenced Mr. Rambold to the suspended sentence with 30 days in jail.
Okay, Bill, I'm going to interrupt you. Just sit tight 1 second. I want to bring Marian Bradley into this conversation. Marian, we talked to you here on Arise America not that long ago about this sentence. First of all, I just want to ask you, what is your reaction to the effort by the Attorney General to appeal this sentence?
Totally and completely in support of it. I, along with Montana Now, Pennsylvania Now, and 4 other women's groups, filed a motion to participate with an amicus brief in the appeals process, and that was granted by the Montana State Supreme Court. So that will be filed on December 13th. I just think that the sentence was outrageous. I think the judge was wrong in his sentence. And I think my personal belief is, and the belief of most women that I've talked to, and most people in this country I've talked to, is that this is not okay. It is allowing our rape culture to continue where a man pleads guilty and walks away.
Marian, I want you to listen to this answer. Excuse me for jumping in. Bill, let me bring you back. I asked you what the legal basis was for this appeal. In your own opinion, what's the chances that they'll be granted this appeal and be able to get a harsher sentence for Stacey Rambold?
Well, I recently looked at the Attorney General's argument, and there is a valid argument that the sentence given did not comply with the letter of the law. And so I believe that the effort by the state to ask the Supreme Court to remand, to send back this sentence to the judge for further review and correcting the errors, there's a substantial chance that could happen.
Marian, when we spoke earlier, you talked about your efforts with your organization was to remove this judge from the bench, from this position. That certainly has not happened. He has since apologized for the comments that he made when giving the sentence, saying that the victim of this sexual assault was older than her chronological age and had control in this situation. Does it matter to you that he tried to walk back those statements and apologize? And he also tried to have a hearing to revisit his sentence. Does any of that matter to you?
Doesn't matter in the least. It's outrageous. And his hearing to move back the sentence was no better than a press conference. He had media there. That was it. I mean, it was unbelievable what this judge has done. We have filed a complaint with the Judicial Standards Commission in September. We finally, this past week, got a response from the judge, which will be made public sometime tomorrow. And we will have a response to his to what he's given his excuses to be. But this judge does not understand why we are calling his decision bias and prejudice. We're calling it bias and prejudice for lots of reasons, including the fact that she is a minority, or Sharice Morales was a minority. She lived on, quote, the other side of the tracks in Billings. And, she came from a normal family where we have a teacher who is educated and should know better. Stacey Rambo should be in jail.
But, Bill, let me ask you this. Do you think that this judge should be reprimanded or even removed?
Well, let me make a distinction.
Wait a minute. I have something to say. I would prefer you didn't ask him that.
Let me just make a distinction.
This man has to appear in front of this judge going forward. So whatever he says.
Let me make a distinction here. There are actually two issues. There's the sentencing of Mr. Rambo, and that has to be done under the law. Then there is a comment, an extrajudicial comment made by Judge Ball that she's beyond her chronicle age. That is not a comment that should be taken into consideration in the sentencing. That was an off-the-cuff comment that is outside of the sentencing guidelines. And that creates outrage. I understand that. And that comment was inappropriate. It was wrong. It should not have been used for any purpose whatsoever. However, the sentence itself, the defense counsel is very competent defense counsel in this case, made an argument that seemed to have some weight within the law, and therefore the judge accepted that. His extrajudicial comment, that's the outrageous part here. Should have never. That thought was completely outrageous. I agree with that.
Let me jump in because I want to cover a couple of things before we run out of time. Marian, let me come back to you on this. The fact that the judge made this comment, does it indicate to you in a larger sense that we as a society still don't get it when it comes to the sexual exploitation, particularly of our women in society? Is there a larger context for this, not just this one judge's comment?
Oh, absolutely, a much larger context. We're starting to see people coming forward all over this country saying, I got a bad sentence. I'm a female. This wasn't okay. Do you realize that Montana, according to the Department of Justice, is at the bottom of the list in sexual assault prosecution? That's outrageous. And, so who's the next state up? Who's the 49th state and the 48th and the 47th? I mean, we're only an indication of what's out there. There is no state that's perfect. It is happening throughout this country. Judges are just pulling these sentences out of thin air and going, oh, I think I'll give this. Just because Stacey Rambo lost his job, lost his wife, and lost his house, excuse me, that's not okay.
But we have to be careful because we sent here in Montana, the same district, a man to prison for sexual intercourse without consent for 15 years. He went to prison, and he was not guilty. That was the Jimmy Bromcart case. So we have to be careful. Have to be careful.
Let me just jump in. We really are out of time, and I understand the basis of the disagreement here, but I just want to ask you sort of a little legal technical thing, Bill, and we're going to have to stop, and that is, why does double jeopardy not apply here?
Because he pled guilty and he's in the sentencing phase, it may apply. I don't know. I haven't fully researched that issue. I'm sure that will be raised. Double jeopardy will be raised.
Okay, all right.
I can't give you a thorough answer on that.
Okay, well, we appreciate your stab at it. I want to thank you both, Marian Bradley as well as Bill D. Alton. Thank you both for your time and for your passion. And this is Arise America.